Gymnastics, the it girl. To some, it's a tired phrase, but there's nothing tired about this woman's game. This is Shawn Johnson, and Marta Karolyi is watching her every move. In a national sense, she has won every single competition she has entered. Up next for her, the next great chance. On a world stage, the World Championships. From Middle America, she has worldwide dreams. NBC Sports presents the 2007 World Gymnastics Championships, delivered by AT&T. We welcome you to the Hans-Martin Schleierhalle in Stuttgart, Germany. Al Trautwig, Olympic gold medalist Tim Daggett, and Elfie Schlegel, as we begin our coverage with Samantha Pezic from McCordsville, Indiana. Tim, are you surprised she's on the team?
Well, a little bit. She didn't have the best national championships, and believe it or not, this is the only thing she'll do today, the vault. But she's a dynamic athlete on this event. Reminds me of Anya Hatch. The only thing she did at the 2004 Olympic Games in the team finals also was vault.
And I think Sam has really proven herself here at the championships, because in the qualification, she had an outstanding competition. And as Tim said, this is her strength. This is all she'll do today.
And her score is a 15.05. 3 women on each apparatus, and there are 4 of those. All scores count. And now we get our first look at Shawn Johnson. How will she handle the world stage about a year away from the Olympic Games?
Well, she did not have the best competition in the qualifying. She made a very uncharacteristic mistake on the last event, put her hands down on the uneven bars. She told us right after the competition was over that mistake, it taught her a lesson. She's got to go harder.
Same vault as Samantha Pezic.
Very nice, great power and perfect form in the air. Just obviously that big step on the landing.
And when you're looking at perfection at this level of the game, especially at the World Championships, this is a vault that is going to be extremely popular at these Worlds. It's a double twist. What would set her apart is sticking the landing to just get that little extra tenth or 2.
And that she did not do. 15.15. Now, if there is an American woman who has really upped her game, really snickered down, and really just changed the way she approaches the sport, it's this woman, Alicia Sacramone, who's a little old by women's gymnastics standards at 19, but she's got that flash and panache that you only seem to get when you turn past the age of 16 and 17.
Huge vault right here.
Explosive.
Nobody in the world does it like that. Phenomenal power on the vault. And, you know, you talked about the passion that she has, Al. A lot of times that comes from not having the dream come true. And that's exactly what happened to her at the 2004 in her quest to make an Olympic team. She didn't even make it to the final Olympic trials. She's on track now.
And it doesn't matter how old you are, because when you get a score like 15.75, that's going to do wonders for this team.
Now, meanwhile, while that was happening, the Romanian rebuilding effort suffers a setback. This is Sandra Izbaza on the uneven bars.
And uneven bars is always the nemesis for the Romanian women's gymnastics team. They've gotten a little bit better. Some of their technique is not as precise. Their handstands aren't great, and you see that right there. Lots of changes in gymnastics. There's no 10-0 anymore. You can score higher than a 10. Also, the deductions are much more strict. 0.8 of a point is what it cost her for putting her hands down.
Back to the vault and the Chinese effort. Now remember, Beijing, that's where it's all going to happen. No maybes. They want certainty.
And actually, it's ironic, because there are a lot of maybes on this Chinese team. A lot of maybes and a lot of babies.
They've brought a very young.
Very little international experience. This is only her second time ever competing outside of China. They thought it was important to put them on the world stage and give them that experience, because frankly, these young kids, they're the best ones they got.
Yang Yi Lin, the judges didn't like it, 14.425. Meanwhile, an update on what Russia has been doing. This is earlier on the uneven bars, Ksenia Semenova.
She actually has a huge bar routine. Second highest level of difficulty in the world at this point in time, 7.2.
She actually had the highest score after the team qualification day.
Very confident young lady. Says she will be Olympic champion on the uneven bars. Dynamic set, great dismount.
Semenova, 16.325. Wow, that is out of the ballpark. Back to the story of China on the vault. This is Cheng Fei.
And this right here is very, very bad news for China. Right there, she does the big vault, but that will cost 0.8 of a point. In the qualifying, she scored almost 1 full point higher. That point comes off of Team China's total score.
The pressure valve gets turned up to max on the Chinese team, all their athletes and the coaches. The American women make their move to the uneven bars next. The World Gymnastics Championships, delivered by AT&T, brought to you by Behind the Team, presented exclusively at ATTBlueRoom.com. By Visa. Go on, live life. And remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. And by Farmers Insurance. To find an agent near you, call 1-800-FARMERS. So after the first rotation, the United States finds themselves trailing Russia by .225. Next up for Shawn Johnson and company, the uneven bars in Stuttgart. USA Gymnastics fans, you can win a trip for two to next year's Olympic trials in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Simply text your answer to the following question to 8808, and you can do that up to 10 times a day and be entered for your chance to win. The question is, who was the first U.S. female to win a world all-around title? A. Mary Lou Retton, B. Kim Zmeskal, C. Nastya Liukin. Again, text your answer to 8808 up to 10 times a day on your AT&T wireless phone for a chance to win the ultimate USA Gymnastics experience, courtesy of AT&T. Al Troutwig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel back with you. Stuttgart, Germany, the place for the 2007 World Gymnastics Championships presented by AT&T. Now to the star of the United States, and we're going to get a real sense of what this World Championships is going to be like for the United States in the next few minutes.
And as we have said, she has won everything, nationally, internationally, that she's entered.
But this is the biggest thing she's entered.
Oh, gosh, yeah. No question about it. And this is where she had her only mistake in the qualifying round, and it came on the dismount. Had she have made the dismount, she would have been leading the all-around. Transition to the low bar. Told us after day one that she just didn't go hard enough. Got to kick my feet up. And she does it perfectly there.
Was that a total stick?
No, not a total stick, but hey, heck, when you do a double twisting, double layout from the uneven bars, you put it to your feet, you're doing pretty good. It really was very unusual to see her have that error.
And, you know, bars has been one of the events that Shawn, you know, hasn't been extremely great at, but her form is good. This is the highlight, obviously, the double twisting, double layout. And when she said she needed a little more oomph, she gave it all right there.
Funny watching that hug shot. She gets a 15.375. Alicia Sacramone is already in college at Brown University, and Shawn Johnson's not even thinking about where she's going to go to college yet. Here's Shayla Worley from Orlando, Florida.
She had a great birthday gift. Her 17th day came on the women's qualifying. Did a great job for Team USA. Has had such a very difficult year battling with injuries. Every time she got a little bit more healthy, something came up again and just knocked her back down, but she is on track now. And very pleased about it, certainly.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with her mental state, because after missing the World Championships last year because of injuries, this is really her moment to show Marta Karolyi what she's all about on this international stage.
Actually struggled on her dismount day 1 too, but nice landing, just the step. Another strong routine for Team USA. And Al, to be honest, this USA team, they don't need to be perfect. Not at all. They are that good. They just need to not have disasters to come away with this world title.
This is Catalina Ponor of Romania. She has essentially, come out of retirement?
She has, and it's amazing to me because the past Romanian federation would never have allowed her to do what she's doing. They have always trained together in this town called Deva, and they did everything together. She is such a star, though. She lives in Bucharest, and she said, I'm not going to go to Deva. I'm still good enough to be part of this team, but I'm going to stay in Bucharest. And she actually convinced one of the head coaches from the past regime. Oops, small mistake there, and that'll cost. She convinced Marianne Betang to come out of retirement as well to coach her.
Right, and Mariana is carrying 2 jobs. Not only is she spending time with her in the gym, but she's also a presidential advisor on sports-related issues for the country. So she's a busy lady.
And this is not a great routine for Catalina. She's opened up the door a number of times with a lot of balance checks.
Athens in 2004. This was a gold medal event for her.
And she is a little bit over time. We're seeing this a lot. The athletes have to jam stuff in the routines.
And then
she makes it just barely.
Definitely not the same effort that we saw from her in the qualification day. That was an unbelievable routine. This one had quite a few mistakes.
Well, maybe the same effort, just not the same results, right?
Not the same result.
We'll get to Shayla Worley's score, 15.575. That's a good number today for the United States. Now up on the big screen and on the uneven bars, Nastia Liukin. That's a great shot.
And I'll tell you, just a few short weeks ago, we saw her really struggle at the national championships. She looked fantastic in day 1, told us that she just didn't have enough time. That was all there was to it. Didn't have enough time in preparation for the nationals.
And what a difference a few weeks has actually made in her overall performance. I almost thought that it took the World Championships to get the real Nastia Liukin to come out.
She has battled with an ankle injury for almost a year. Been extremely frustrating for her. And she said after day 1, I feel like myself again. I feel like Nastia Liukin. This
unbelievable,
gigantic routine from Nastia Liukin. Gigantic.
What a difference a few weeks makes.
Gets a hug from coach and dad, Valeri Liukin, and when you get a hug from Marta Karolyi, it's good news.
Yeah, it's like new life for her here in Stuttgart. She was just on fire in day 1. This routine, it doesn't get much better than this. This is one of the highest start values in the world, and her positions are perfect. There is not much you can take away from this routine.
And this dismount here, a double front with a half turn, spots the ground, bam.
The half turn comes about 6 feet above the ground, and that is the highest score given to anyone yet in these World Championships. Central Europe, the site of these World Gymnastics Championships, coming to you from Stuttgart, Germany. This is the place where the motorbike and four-wheeled automobile were invented by Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz in 1887. This is the home of the car. And now the United States finds themselves on the beam where many a lead has died. But right now they have the lead on the strength of Nastia Liukin's huge score. The United States in front of Russia. Alicia Sacramone.
And, you know, she's a very emotional young lady, and I asked her to sum up what it was like competing in the Worlds, and she said, well, I thought I was going to throw up, but I was able to get it all together, and she really did has been doing a phenomenal job at these World Championships.
Well, Tim, she has to be confident in what she's done prior to these Worlds. She had 2 solid beam routines at the National Championships, which has in the past been very difficult for Alicia to put together. Plus the qualification day, a rock-solid beam routine. And that's why she's up in this competition with this 3-up, 3-count rule.
Now, the one thing you wonder about with Alicia is that next year, when the Olympics roll around, she'll be about 20. And that's pretty old in this sport.
It certainly makes it a lot more challenging, and obviously the injury factor becomes paramount. She had surgery on her knee last December. Took a long time to come back from that. Also had a very difficult year. Went to Brown, competed for Brown, and maintained elite level gymnastics. Said it was a lot harder than she thought it was going to be. Here comes the dismount. 2 back handsprings to a double pike. Another great routine from Alicia Sacramone.
It's a hit.
Let's see if it's a hit with the judges in a moment. Hey, baby.
And I'll tell you, this USA team in day 1 was spectacular on the balance beam. They had 4 of the top 8 scores in the world. Now, only 2 athletes can move on to the individual event finals per country, but they should have had 4.
And they started on balance beam.
On the floor is where the Romanians are right now. This is Daniela Drinsea.
Well, we're seeing a trend in women's floor exercise where there's a lot of tumbling, up to 5 tumbling passes. I have to say, wasn't very inspiring. The best part of the routine was the tumbling, but really where she needs to grow is in the artistry, because that's the other half of the routine. You can't forget about showing it off.
Choreography. And she gets a low 14.375, very low on floor exercise.
And I'll tell you, this is our first look at floor in the team finals. Floor in the qualifying was so strictly judged. It was amazing. Saw that 15.6 for Alicia Sacramone.
Now back to Nastia Liukin. Remember, she had the highest score awarded to anyone on the uneven bars. Now we'll see if she can keep it going on the beam.
Well, Alicia, 15.6. You know what this does for her routine? It's a beautiful setup because Nastia is capable of scoring in the low 16s.
Well, when you're a former world champion, you're usually capable of that. 2005, the gold medalist on this event, and has struggled with that, but not there. Beautifully done.
I'm not a lover of that that move, Elfie?
The side aerial. Not one of our favorites because of the bent knees, but it surely is a popular move here. We're seeing it a lot in combination. Nastia makes everything look pretty, though, I have to say. I mean, look at the artistry. From what we just saw on the floor exercise, I'm watching her feeling like she's on the floor, and this is just, you know, what she does so well, and she gets rewarded for her choreography.
It really is remarkable. Just a few weeks ago, her and her father looked confused, like they just couldn't figure out what was going wrong, and it's just a matter of time, I guess, for them to get it right.
Well, he said that he had to push her and knew that it was the only way to be prepared for this event, but she was very, very tired. Well, unbelievable. That is a gigantic mistake. I
was just going to say, this routine looked fabulous. Up until this dismount, it was better than the first day.
What went wrong?
Well, watch her post foot. Right here, it'll slide off the beam, and that is a major mistake, but making it, at the end, a major save. It'll cost her 0.6 of a point in start value.
Well, she's feeling a little down right now, but this is the team final. She's got a great teammate to help pick her up. Shawn Johnson next. Mind of Shawn Johnson. Her twice national champion teammate has just had a major mistake on the beam. It costs Nastia Liukin. She gets a 15.1 and change. And now the United States, trying to hold on to the lead in this World Championships, needs Shawn Johnson to come up big time.
Remember, in the team finals, it's 3 up, 3 count. So every mistake...
I have never, ever seen her fall on that move before.
Unbelievable.
You know, it is funny. This is an individual sport, let's face it. Train individually, and then all of a sudden, a few times a year, you gather as a team, and you have coaches who coach the team. Some people are used to being individuals and not performing in a team concept. Another wobble. Well,
and this young lady is used to being perfect every time out, so this is really going to be interesting to see how she finishes this routine. There's still one apparatus left.
There's still a lot to go in this routine. Very uncharacteristic, though. Like Gelfie said, I don't think I've ever seen her fall on that. Certainly, it's amazing.
Well, not in competition. Not at this level.
You know, I said it, that the USA, basically, if they just went through cleanly, there's no way, even if somebody else has a great day, that they're going to lose. And I had thought, coming in, they could have one major mistake, but frankly, I don't know about having 2 major errors.
Well, now it's a matter of math. How much damage has been done here in these 2 beam routines?
And they won easily in the qualifying round, but in that competition, you are allowed to drop a score.
Essentially, we've never seen Shawn Johnson look like this.
We've never seen that right there. Totally off balance. And remember, the new scoring, more than a 10 you can achieve, but the deductions are more stringent too. 0.8 for coming off that beam. This routine will most likely score a point less than it did in the qualifying round.
Well, it's time to ponder as Shawn Johnson gets hit and hit hard. 15.025. We'll check the standings and see if the United States remains in first place after this on NBC. The American women and the lead they held is vulnerable now. We will see what the other nations do to take advantage of the scores that were not as high as Nastia Liukin and Shawn Johnson would have liked. Here's Elena Zamolodchikova of Russia.
Out of bounds. She has some titles, but they happened a long time ago. 2000 Olympic Games champion on floor exercise and the vault.
But one thing that has been really nice to see from Elena is that we've been giving her the new nickname Happy Girl, because we've actually never seen her so happy at her gymnastics and just really looking at ease and everything that she's been doing here. It's nice to see.
Tim, come on, admit it. When you saw that she was on the Russian team, you couldn't believe it.
I couldn't, actually. And frankly, it was because I didn't want to see this sad person out on the floor. But as LB said, she has been a changed person. She injured herself, was in the hospital, told us that while she was there, she made a commitment that she would come back. She would compete again for Russia at the Olympic Games. And she said, I'm going to be happy.
She's 24 years of age, and this is a sport for teenagers.
Well, and she really believes she can help this team. She said, I'm going to do every little bit that I can. She said, I'm not a mother yet. She doesn't feel old at all.
Elena Zamolodchikova. I don't know if Russia took big-time advantage of the United States there. We'll have to wait and see. Here's Li Shanshan, 15 years old, from China.
This is the team that can threaten. There's no question about it. At the last World Championships in Denmark, the USA team won easily in day one, but then had mistakes, and China was right there with a great competition. It only takes 12 routines in the women's team finals, 12 hit routines, and if a squad like the Americans falters, it's certainly this team will be right there.
Tim, at this point, I don't think the gold medalist is going to be 12 for 12. China struggled early, then they settled things down. They're in the mix. The United States with a couple of mistakes.
This is a team that can post some very high scores like we saw in the qualification on this event. They have start values as high as 7.1. And as we mentioned, the artistry side of the score, which you can score up to a 10. That's the only way you can these days.
Yeah, this is a jam-packed routine. She works so elegantly on the balance beam. Beautiful body lines, excellent knees, toes, and beautiful extension. Throws her head back on that leap, makes it even more difficult.
And LT, I guess it's very easy to say, and I think it would be almost 100% accurate. There is absolutely zero chance that the Chinese would have a 24-year-old on their team.
No, it's not going to happen.
This is a big routine.
Yeah, big score coming up. This is her World Championship debut.
She had the highest qualifying score with a 16.325. It should be right in that same area.
The United States women looking a little uncomfortable as they watch this all unfold. This was pretty nice.
I was impressed with, being so young. I was impressed with her focus on the beam and just, the variety of skills that she has in this exercise. Very, very difficult skills, but done with, a lot of, very sure of herself. Look at that, 16.275.
Boy, that is right up there with one of the best scores we have seen today. Not the highest, but right there. Here's Xiao Xia, another 15-year-old.
Beautiful beam worker, but really struggled. Had 2 falls in the preliminary competition, and I was a little bit surprised that they actually chose to use her.
They're gambling because she's here to do balance beam. She is known in her country as a great balance beam worker, and they're counting on this competition.
They have another worker that can certainly come close to 16 points. She only managed to scrape a 14.65. Certainly she has more potential than that.
Every Chinese gymnast seems to throw that skill. It's named after one of their very famous gymnasts, Yang Bo.
Hear the signal that it is time to get off the balance beam.
No one has come in under time, that's for sure. They are trying to pack in a lot of skills in a very short amount of time.
Another strong routine for the Chinese.
This could almost be the equivalent of coming back from 20 points down. I mean, China looked awful when this day started. So it's all smiles there. Meanwhile, for the United States, one event to come. It's the floor exercise. It is time to huddle up.
Floor is our event. We go out and have fun. We do our team big skills. You know what? Okay, beam. It's always a 50-50 chance that you're going to make it, okay? So you know what? Just on the page, she's right. It's still another fight. People can still mess up. It's not, people still have beam. And we're not the only ones. Nobody's perfect, all right? Turn the page. I want, like, big energy on the floor. Like, all out. This just makes us angry. You know what? Like, it's better. Exactly. Team USA. I mean, we're really aggressive. We beat each other up. Why not beat everybody else, too? Right? If you got it, you got it.
Marta Caroli, your job is in danger. Alicia Sacramone firing up the gang as they head to the floor exercise at the World Championships. It's going to be hard to read the Chinese women here at the World Gymnastics Championships, delivered by AT&T. After the third rotation, they had jumped in front of the United States by 1/10. Alicia Sacramone did an unbelievable job of rallying the team. She said, forget what happened on the beam. I know we had two bad performances, but we own the floor.
We're not the only ones. Nobody's perfect, all right? Turn the page. I want, like, big energy.
Well, now she's in her own private world, and she will be the anchor on the United States effort on the floor exercise. The Chinese women, who knows what they're thinking? This is Jian Yiyang, and the Chinese women have to get a huge score from her because moments ago her teammate Li Shanshan put up a 13.825. I cannot see any one of the three American women putting up a 13.825 on floor exercise. I just can't see it. Can you?
No, it shouldn't happen. They're capable of much more than that.
Capable, but they do a lot of hard stuff, too. One thing that's important to note, that floor at these World Championships has been the lowest scoring event. There were only about 5 gymnasts from the qualifying that scored in the 15s on floor in the entire meet.
Watch this a moment ago. How weird is that for a Katerina Kramarenko?
Unbelievable, incredible. She runs down, and because she touches the vaulting horse, the table, that means that it's a 0. Now, these young ladies have been competing their entire lives. If she had just run past the horse, she would have been okay. She would have been able to go again. But because she touches the table,
it's a 0.
That's it. 8 teams in the finals. They were in the hunt for the bronze. They're coming in last.
This is unbelievable.
It's a nightmare, actually.
All she had to do is just run to the side. You see it happen all the time, but right there.
Is it possible that she didn't know that?
Well, I think the Russians at this point are very flustered. Their first vaulter did not do what she was supposed to do, did an easier vault, and she actually struggled in the first day of competition, landed very short on it, maybe was a little bit tentative. And
well, look at Elena Zamolodchikova, the teammate. She said she was going to smile, but there's no smile.
Yeah. I'm sure she's got to be thinking, why am I even up here?
Well, she said the whole reason for being here, their training, everything was geared towards winning a bronze medal, getting back up on the podium.
And that very well could have happened. but that opens the door in a gigantic way for the Romanians.
Yeah, I think a medal just flew out the window.
Yeah, that's it's really a shame.
And this vault really is a moot point.
And it shouldn't have happened. It was a complete mental breakdown on the part of Karmenenko, and it just should not have happened. All she had to do, like I said, just don't touch the table, run by it.
And this is not the first time that we have seen Elena Zamolodchikova crying in the gym. So the Russians have a meltdown, and she gets a 14.975. This is Chong Fei.
And this is a huge routine. She is world champion on floor exercise. Double twisting, double somersault in her first pass. Gigantic.
Well, this really has to ease the pressure on the United States now. They know they're going to medal.
No question, but the color is
they want to gold.
It's a big
very
deal.
important.
Put your veteran up last, and you're going to get a big score. Polished routine, great artistry, great acrobatics.
Well, they're putting it out there for the USA team. You know, it's ironic. She's the anchor, as you said, Elfie. But if she had just done what she was capable of doing on her first event, China would have been in the lead by over a point.
Chinese gets the score they absolutely had to have, a 15.425. But the words of Alicia Sacramone ring true. Forget about the balance beam. We can dominate floor, and certainly the Chinese women have reopened the door of golden opportunity for the United States. Nastia Liukin, a smile perhaps knowing that she's not one of the three who will perform on the floor exercise, but the United States women have to like their chances.
Oh, very much so. They basically put their tumbling passes to their feet, and they will be the world champions.
When we come back, first it's Shayla Worley, then it's Shawn Johnson. Alicia Sacramone hopes to be the anchor. As an athlete, this is all you can hope for. You put yourself in a position where you can win. And the American women, all three, and all scores count, need to average a 14.791 to give Marta Karolyi the recognition for another gold medal at an event like this, the World Championship of Gymnastics.
Like I said, it's all about putting it to their feet. And if there's a risky element in the routine, it's right here on this Arabian double.
competition. And I'll tell you what, there were a couple of landings, although she did the skill very well, she could give the judges reason to take a tenth or a half a tenth. That was one of the best landings of the routine.
Not going to bring in a giant score, but I think it's certainly going to be enough to keep them in contention.
Well, Tim, they needed to average a 14.7, and that is not enough.
Well, they needed to average that, but the next two performers, they have Shawn Johnson and Alicia Sacramone. They are, no question about it, they're stronger on floor than Shayla Worley, so it's not time to panic for Team USA, that's for sure.
Floor routine we've seen so far, and it's not even close.
It was great. She listened to Mother Alicia.
One more to go.
Shawn Johnson.
Giant routine, start to finish. Begins with a double twisting, double somersault. Routine is jam-packed. Finishes with a beautiful double pike somersault. Perfect landing. She's a fighter, I'll tell you.
And these judges are very tough. They've given Shawn Johnson a 15.375. How about that?
You know what? The entire World Championships, they have been so strict on floor exercise. That's probably the third highest score of this entire event.
Okay, now here's Alicia Sacramone. All she has to do is be okay. A 14.375 for the gold medal.
Land on her feet. That's it. Tumbling pass for a gold medal.
Wow. Shawn Johnson, Alicia Sacramone, take your gold medal back to Providence, Rhode Island.
Alicia Sacramone.
She was busting to get out on that floor exercise and show everyone what she can do. And, you know, what a great position for her to anchor this team. Powerful, explosive. It was quite entertaining.
Well, you know, it's ironic because she was never the one that was the rock mentally, but she has just grown into this position.
That's it. It's so hard to say in gymnastics, but right now it feels like it's an American dynasty. This success has gone on now for more than just one World Championships and one Olympics.
Trying to get in contact with her coach, Mihai, there. They've had a...
How about the relationship these two have had?
Yeah, well, that's grown as well. And they've had some rocky times. But she has stuck with him and vice versa.
And she's believed in him.
And the reason it's so emotional is that they were riding so high. Then there was that big hiccup on the balance beam. And then the recovery. And Alicia Sacramone backs up her words. When we come back, Alicia Sacramone and Shawn Johnson try to put it into words. Again, USA Gymnastics fans, you can win a trip for two to next year's Olympic trials in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Simply text your answer to the following question to 8808, and you can do that up to 10 times a day and be entered for your chance to win. Here we go. Who was the first U.S. female to win a world all-around title? A. Mary Lou Retton, B. Kim Zmeskal, C. Nastia Liukin. Again, text your answer to 8808 up to 10 times a day on your AT&T wireless phone for your chance to win the ultimate USA Gymnastics experience, courtesy of AT&T. A day of celebration for the American women. They have won the World Gymnastics gold medal. We go down to the floor for Elfie Schlegel.
Alicia, did you know that your floor score was big enough to win the gold medal?
Yeah, I knew a lot was riding on that last routine, and, you know, I just tried not to think about it. I was like, all right, one more routine, just go out there, have fun, that's when you do your best, so that's what I did.
Problems for the United States on balance beam. Alicia, what did you say to the team to turn them around?
You know, I told them, I was like, nobody's perfect, everybody makes mistakes, like, China made mistakes, and other countries made mistakes too, so I just told them, I was like, you guys gotta turn the page, forget about it, and keep moving. We have one more event, and it's one of our best, so go out there and have fun.
And just another win for Shawn Johnson from Iowa. The kid does not know how to lose. Back to Elfie Schlegel.
Shawn, we rarely see you make mistakes. We've watched you at many events. What happened on balance beam?
Well, during warm-up, I made the mistake again, and I think I was just doubting myself, just not confidence and stuff. But after, I said to myself, I mean, you make mistakes, everybody does, and I can get it back on the floor. And I went out there and I just gave it my all.
Did anybody say something specifically to you, your coach, one of your team members, before floor? Because you had a pretty big smile out there.
We had a team conference, kind of, and we just said, this is it. We both made mistakes. We make mistakes, and we're not even a tenth behind. So this is our event. Go out there and show the world that we deserve it. We've been working so hard for it.
You're world champions. How does it feel for your first time out on that big stage?
It's so overwhelming just because to know that you're a world champion and part of that team, it's such an honor, and we've been working so hard for so long, and to finally have the title, it's an amazing feeling.
Back to you, Al.
Those 15-year waits are killers. A major success for the United States. They win the gold, just about a point ahead of China and then Romania for bronze. When we come back, the all-around competition. Right now, AT&T presents a report on the United States men's team at the World Championships. The U.S. men's team was 13th at the last World Championship. If they finished that low in Stuttgart, they wouldn't qualify for the Beijing Olympics. But after the first day of competition, not only did they clinch a spot at the Olympics in Beijing, they were in contention for a medal at these World Championships. But things started badly for David Durante as he falls off the pommel horse. The men were in last place. But then Jonathan Horton on the rings helped them slowly dig themselves out of that hole from 8th to 7th on to 5th.
And, you know, each one of these guys has said that they want redemption. They're not 13th in the world. They've been saying it for a year. We can win a medal.
Vladimir Artemov on the parallel bars. They were on the verge of something big. They were in 4th place. But on the high bar, a couple of routines went wrong.
And when you fall, it is 0.8 of a point. And that right there takes Team USA out of the medal picture.
But there was no quit in the American men. They continued to battle back on the floor exercise. And on that apparatus, in fact, had the highest score of any team. Their finish, 4th place. That is a major improvement from where they were a year ago. A job well done.
This was a big night for us, and finishing 4th, coming from 13th last year, it's a huge jump. Obviously, we were real close to that podium, but I'm real proud of what the team did tonight.
I think we really proved a lot of people wrong what they thought about the United States. We came back. I think we've, instilled some fear in a lot of people's eyes and shown that the United States is still strong.
And we'll see them in Beijing. That's the AT&T report on the men's performance at these World Championships. Welcome back to Stuttgart, Germany. We take a look back at the women's all-around final. 2 Americans have qualified, Nastia Liukin and Shawn Johnson. This is Shawn Johnson, now a world champion. How about that from the United States? On the vault.
And all of the top 6 athletes are seated, and they all begin in the same rotation on vault.
Pretty much what it's looked like all week long for Shawn Johnson. A very safe, a very confident vault. Start values are important here in the all-around competition. This one begins out of a 5.8. There are others who will have a more difficult vault in this competition.
No, the one thing the American women can think about themselves, we made some big mistakes, and we still won the gold medal, and we can be better than that.
They certainly can. They're the best team in the world. There's anybody that says that they're not, they don't know what's going on. They are the best team in the world. And frankly, 4 hit routines from this young lady, and she's the best in the world, too.
15.175 for Shawn Johnson on the vault. Now, the other American that qualified is Nastia Liukin. It was a day of redemption for her. She didn't take part in all 4 events, but she was a big reason why the United States won that gold medal. Her performance on the uneven bars was staggering.
Spectacular. An easier vault here. This is a Yurchenko 1.5. Still looks a little bit tentative to me. She told us that, she's been battling this ankle injury for upwards of a year at this point in time. She says it's about 95% back. She doesn't think it'll ever all the way feel like it used to.
But she just deals with it.
And it certainly comes into play mostly on vault and then on floor exercise.
She is still spending a lot of time dealing with those ankle wraps. 14.75 for Nastia Liukin. This is Jade Barbosa from Brazil.
And this can be huge. Be 16.5.
Which means that if she did it perfectly, she could get a 16.5. And you are right. 15.9 with the step out of bounds. So that's a wrap on the first rotation. The women move to the uneven bars. This is the World Gymnastics Championships delivered by AT&T. In Stuttgart, after the first of 4 rotations, Jade Barbosa actually leads in this battle for the all-around gold medal. 2 American women have qualified, Shawn Johnson and Nastia Liukin. And both are challenging.
And she can vault right up to the top of the standings on bars.
She certainly has proven that all week long at these championships.
Oh, LT, she was unbelievable in the team final on this.
Posting one of the highest start values, not to mention the choreography on this apparatus is just exquisite. Look at those perfect lines.
It's not just that she does really hard stuff. It's that she does it exceptionally well. She looks like she's playing like a little kid on a playground. She's swinging around, but there's a lot going on. Small little step on the landing, but going to get a huge number. That, of course, her coach and father, Olympic and world champion, Valery Liukin.
And of course, the only other athletes that we've watched on the stage that even compare to this type of work are the Chinese gymnasts. Very similar in style.
Beautiful. Watch this release here. This is a Ginger. Flies high in the air, and look at the toes.
She gets the highest score in this all-around so far.
And they knew that after round one that she would be down. But they were hoping after this event that she'd be right near the top of the standings, and I think that's where it'll put her.
Shawn Johnson in the same neighborhood. In third after the first rotation. All the scores count. There are no do-overs. This is so important for her in considering what she wants to get out of the Olympic Games next August. This experience, huge, right, Tim?
Absolutely unbelievable. And she has the goods to do it. You just look at her and you feel calm, you know? Other gymnasts, they're letting go of the bar, doing these major release skills, and you always kind of catch your breath a little bit. But Shawn, she's just right there. Here comes another one. Boom. Every time.
And not only is she consistent, but you have to consider the fact that this is now her third all-around competition in the team qualifying. She did all 4 events for Team USA. In the team finals, she performed all 4 events. So this is her third all-around competition and a huge routine. It's a lot of gymnastics.
There with her coach, Chow, and she said that her Olympic quest is probably a little bigger than some of the other athletes because getting to compete in Beijing, the homeland of her coach, the guy that made it all possible for her, it just would be extra special.
She walked into Chow's gym the day it opened.
It's a great story. And I tell you, you just don't find athletes like this. Sometimes you find them that are physically gifted like she is or have the head, but she's got both of it.
A 15.375 for Shawn Johnson. We'll see how those performances jumbled the standings in this battle for gold. In Stuttgart, after 2 rotations in this battle for the all-around gold, silver, and bronze, Shawn Johnson has to make up some ground. Nastia Liukin has been very impressive, tied for the lead with this woman, Jade Barbosa of Brazil. Shawn Johnson actually is in 5th place.
Actually was watching Jade's performances from the Pan American Games earlier this summer, and I thought, wow, this kid has great gymnastics, hard gymnastics, just like that mount on the balance beam. She's not afraid to take risks.
It's a powerhouse. The main reason why she is the co-leader at this point is because her first event, she started on vaulting, and of all the other contenders, her start score 7/10 higher than anybody else.
Well, and also the fact that her coach, Oleg Ostapenko, who coached Lilia Pakapayeva in 1996 to the all-around Olympic champion spot, I mean, he knows a little something about producing champions, and he's done a very good job with this young lady.
No question.
Very sure of herself. She's had a lot of elements, and I said she started off her routine with a lot of difficulty, and she ends with the same amount of difficulty. Check this out. Full length of the beam, round off flip-flop, double pike. It's a great set.
Well, she's not going away.
A lot of difficulty in this exercise, and as Elfie stated, travels the entire length of the beam for this dismount sequence. She's doing a great job.
Big score, 15.7 for Jade Barbosa. Next, we'll watch Shawn Johnson on the balance beam. She admitted to us, you Elfie, after the team competition, that she let the beam get in her head a little bit, and this was the result of that.
She was a little bit nervous after Nastia Liukin fell off the beam. It kind of rattled her a little bit. But I've been watching her warm-ups, paying very close attention to what she did in her 30-second warm-up. And she was extremely solid. So I think she's perhaps back on her game.
Here it is. Well, geez.
Good save.
Good save. Almost a carbon copy, but holds on. It'll be a slight deduction, but certainly not the 8/10 she would have received if she had come off the beam. Another big one right here. Back with a full.
Gosh, that's a nice skill. Full twist.
So powerful. Little bit of balance checks, but
a couple little arm misplacements here and there. Become accustomed to watching Shawn on balance beam in every other event, I suppose, where, you know, you sit back and you just watch her perform. You know she's going to be spot on, and this has been a little bit less than her perfect self.
Pretty darn good when you don't have to be perfect and you can still be world champion. There's one major element remaining, dismount. Only gymnasts I've seen do this at these worlds. Full twisting double.
She'll take that score.
That is a huge, huge event for Shawn Johnson to have out of the way.
That will serve her well when she's in the same position, perhaps, somewhere down the line. I think it was good for her. It probably doesn't feel good. It was probably good for her to have a major mistake in a competition like this.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more, because it got to the point where we watched her at the American Cup, the Pan American Games, national championships, and I thought, does this kid ever make a mistake? And I was a bit shocked when we saw her in the first day of team competition and she fell on her bar dismount. Right. I thought, wow, okay, she's human.
Well,
she's human.
She learned a lot. You know, she learned some lessons, but she still comes away world champion. And possibly here in the all-around, too.
Now to Nastia Liukin, who was tied for the lead, remember, after the second rotation. Jade Barbosa did well. She didn't crumble. And now Liukin's got to keep pace.
If she does what she's capable, she will go into the last rotation with a pretty big lead. She's certainly capable of getting into the 16s. And if she's going to need to do that, because floor is not her strongest event. It can still happen for Nastia Liukin.
This skill coming up right here is a big test for her.
Lay out and
off.
That'll do it right there. 8/10 for falling. She'll lose the value of the skill. Her start score will go down.
She tried everything to stay on that beam.
You know, and she really, it's not an easy pass for her. She definitely has dealt with it at these world championships up until then, but it is not something that is a easy thing for her.
The crowd was really nice when she got back on.
They've actually been very supportive here in Stuttgart.
Of all athletes.
Yeah, really cheering them on. And I'll tell you, it's the last thing in the world you want to hear, though. Yeah. Is when you're standing on the ground, you got to jump back up again. It doesn't make you feel any better.
Remember, in the team competition, she had problems and balked on the dismount.
A little bit long right here, too, kind of getting her bearings.
Well, you can see the exasperation, and that's the look that she had on her face at the recent national competition.
I think the problem actually preceded this combination of skills. She did a forward movement that connected into all of this backward stuff, and it actually had her a little bit offline, and it threw her off for all of those skills that were leading backwards. Too bad. 8/10.
It's going to really cause her to fall in the standings. We'll see how bad the damage is after this. The World Gymnastics Championships delivered by AT&T. Brought to you by Behind the Team. Presented by AT&T exclusively at attblueroom.com. By Prudential, helping you make the right financial moves in the retirement red zone. And by the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help. The women's all-around has come down to the final rotation. This is the World Gymnastics Championships delivered by AT&T, and you can read the face of Nasta Liukin. Just a few minutes ago, everything went wrong on the balance beam. Teammates here to support her effort. They're going to take gold medals home, winning the team championship here in Stuttgart, Germany. And Jade Barbosa, the leader after the third rotation. Would either of you have predicted that?
No, I wouldn't have. But, you know, like I keep coming back to, that vault is such a huge, huge prize for her.
She really has to just stand up all her tumbling passes, and she has a good shot at winning this event.
I think it's pretty weird, Tim, that the all-around gold medalist may have won the medal in spite of stepping out of bounds on the vault.
Opens the door wide open for Shawn Johnson. And another one rebounds out of that dismount.
That's a shame. She's going to replay those mistakes in her mind over and over again.
Yeah, you could read her face a little bit. You know, it's still pretty darn exciting what's going on here.
This is a full twisting double somersault, and she's got plenty of power on it. Just doesn't hold on to her position long enough. Hands go down, knees brush the ground.
Ouch. A 14.0. That hurts big time. And right now we have no idea to what level she allowed herself to dream, whether she thought she could win this. This is Vanessa Ferrari. The Italian was the all-around gold medalist at the World Championships in Denmark a couple of years ago. Now she finds herself in 6th place.
Just refused to go home. She came to these championships, has been battling with a foot and ankle injury. One of her first ever. Coach said she's not used to dealing with the pain, but has been a trooper throughout these championships.
And even in today's competition, had a fall on the uneven bars and is battling back right to the final event.
this very moment, Shawn Johnson is sitting there in her own little world thinking, wait a minute, I might be able to win this here. Italy's Vanessa Ferrari. No repeat all-around gold medal here. The judges give her a 15.30. We'll see where that puts her. But right now, all eyes go on the woman from West Des Moines, Iowa. She needs better than a 14.10 for first place.
And that is easy for her. It's so ironic. She says, I've watched this, what's happening to me, happen to others before me, and I still can't believe it's me.
At one point, she was in 5th place. I think the It Girl's about to become the Golden Girl and put herself on the shortest of lists. An American who can say she's the all-around gold medal world champion. That shot of Ferrari, that tells you how fast fame is fleeting in women's gymnastics.
Well, they hardly have them anymore, carbon copies, but this is the third one. 3 floor routines, and they were all phenomenal and all darn near perfect from Shawn Johnson in Stuttgart, Germany.
The score for Sandra Raluca East-Basha on board, 40.65.
And she's got it, 15.425. One all-around gold medalist with a smooch for the other. The baton has been passed. And I think there's every reason to believe that next year in Beijing, this is going to be quite a fun battle to watch. So Shawn Johnson just continues to win. And the look on the face of Barbosa says, you know what? I think I should have or could have won this.
Yeah, I was right there. I was in the hunt.
This is all by herself. That feels a lot different than a team championship, doesn't it, Tim?
Oh, yeah, no question. It's a totally different feeling. The team is fantastic and wonderful, but it's just different.
And Nasir Yukin, just to do the math, she needs a 16.45 for first place. The way the judges have been scoring this event, not happening.
Yeah, it can't be done. tell you, she has so much to be proud about. Just a couple of weeks ago at the national championships, she looked like there was no way that she could be in this position, and she actually was very much in the hunt to challenge for a medal and even the gold until that slip off the balance beam.
There's a huge sense of relief that she can compete again in the all-around. That was her goal here at these championships, and I think she realizes she's going back home. There are things to work on, it's obvious, but there's relief that she can actually do 4 events.
Her dad, Olympic and world champion, Valeri Liukin. She will not be the world champion. That ankle still makes tumbling runs like that very risky and challenging for Nastia.
She's going to get a 14.675, which means she will not win a medal. And if you do the math, that one fall off the balance beam is the difference between a medal and no medal. And it's just a reminder that she'll be a player in Beijing. I don't think there's any question about that. But can you guarantee that she'll be healthy? And she won't have, you can't do that.
No, you can't. But I firmly believe that this young lady has what it takes in every regard to still be on that plane to Beijing and to be fighting for not just a medal, but for the gold in the all-around.
Here is the final woman to go, Steliana Nistor of Romania. She needs a 16.225. She can't get a 16.225 because if you total up all her skills, she starts with a 16 and then works downward from there. So Shawn Johnson is going to win this.
And she was a huge factor in the Romanians winning the bronze medal, and she is the Romanian one to fight for the medals here and in Beijing.
Zeppelin floor exercise. I'm in favor of that.
Gotta love it.
Steliana Nistor of Romania may get a medal out of this. But we know one thing. Shawn Johnson has won the gold medal at the World Championships. That is a huge step. How big?
Well, it is. It's huge in that she has less than a year to go till Beijing. And look at her year. She has won every big title on the international stage. Now she believes she's world champion, and that is only going to help her confidence leading into Beijing.
All year long, we've talked with her about her schedule, what she's doing, winning this title, that title. She always referred to this competition as the big one. Every time then it's the big one. Well, not only was it the big one, she did it big time.
Dade Barbosa overwhelmed by her bronze medal. Nistor takes the silver, but those are golden hugs for Shawn Johnson of the United States. She is essentially undefeated and has handled every hurdle. The national champion, now world champion. But she's got something large standing in her way, and it's called history. No American woman has ever won a world championship and then gone on to win gold in the Olympics. Maybe she can handle that.